Hello, I'm Guelda Redman, and this is the Elevating Women in Business podcast, where we talk to women entrepreneurs and business owners and learn their incredible and unique strategies to finding success. Hello, I'm Guelda Redman. I'm the founder of the BC Women's Business Network and the host of Elevating Women in Business podcast. And today our guest is Sarah Enright. She is the owner-operator of Abby Bubba Pet Care with a Gentle Touch. Sarah has gone to the dogs, literally and figuratively. But since turning her life over to caring for dogs in January 2018, she started at first pet sitting and dog walking full-time in South Delta. And she's has met and cared for hundreds of dogs and cats. So she is the go-to if you are looking for someone to come to your home to look after your beloved fur babies. She is the one to call. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Sarah and what is she like?
I moved here from Ontario in 1990. So I'm not an official BC or born and bred, but I have lived here for 36 years.
That counts.
Yeah, and I've lived all over the Lower Mainland, Burnaby, New West, Maple Ridge, Vancouver, and Delta, before I moved here to the Abbotsford, the Fraser Valley. So first to Abbotsford and then Chilliwack and now Mission. I like to move around a lot. And I feel like I've lived a few lives in all of that moving. As far as work, I was very heavily into graphics, working in print shops and ad agencies, print shops in all over. And the ad agencies were downtown, and I thought I had made it. When I started working downtown, I did that for 27 years, and in 2010 during the Olympics, I'd had enough.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, just after the Olympics in 2010, I've been self-employed. I started trying to do graphics as a self-employed person, but I found out that I actually lost my enthusiasm for the industry altogether and searched for things that I was interested in to change careers, and it was dogs.
Yeah.
I have my own dog, Bubba, for 12 years, and that's where the name Abby Bubba comes from, part of it, half of it. He was the center of my life for 10 years. I realized once he was gone that how much he had influenced my life and my decisions.
Interesting.
Realized that
That's cool. So the whole name. So what was it that drew you to working with looking after dogs and doing dog walking? And how did you come across that name? And just what is your inspiration for it besides Bubba?
Bubba came from Bubba, my dog, who is like in this picture. That's him out at Spanish Banks, his
Oh,
first year, his first time out off leash and running free. And yeah, that was our favorite place to go. The name came from my first dog that I looked after in Delta, where I started my pet sitting and dog walking. I started it with Rover.com. She was my first client. It's just a coincidence that I ended up in Abbotsford and starting this company,
yeah.
because I actually had this idea to start my own business once the Rover was really successful in South Delta. Yeah, I've had this idea for a while, and it was Abby Bubba. It was always Abby Bubba. I
Mm.
just love saying that. Why I started with Bubba, I was on my own in Vancouver and I was working full time, and I needed holidays and things like that. And I also needed care during the day. So I had my own experience with searching for reliable pet care and tried various different
Mhm.
things. And from family to doggy daycares, we never did boarding, But the one that was the best was actually similar to the rover.com, where a friend who was on a website called Dog Vacay, she suggested he could come and stay with her when I went away to California for a few days. And her and her family, and it was through that website, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. So
Um,
I put myself on there
yeah.
like that. So that was actually in 2011, 2012. And yeah, it didn't really take off because it wasn't really popular because people didn't know about it. But once I was
Mhm.
in South Delta and I realized that, yeah, there was a lot of pickup there.
Could you tell me, so many businesses, we always hear about your niche. Have you niched down like what kind of, let's say, families or animals specifically that you prefer to work with?
It's more like the ones that I end up working with.
Yeah.
The ones
But
who have,
often that's your niche because that's who
yeah,
you attract and they attract you. So it's like when you've got that mutual attraction, it's like how you fall into your niche. You just have to think about who do I serve?
yeah. Yeah, when I first put myself on Rover, I it was originally people with rescues because I really wanted to support that, and I still do. And now it's evolved. Those are the ones that I do end up with for the most part, and they're usually also nervous or reactive is the
Mhm.
term people use a lot. I prefer nervous because it's more about the reason behind their behavior.
Yeah.
And so the ones that don't usually that get turned down by the
Mm.
daycares because they don't thrive in those
Yeah.
environments. The
Yeah. Yeah.
daycares and the boarding with lots of other animals. And then the cats. And it's usually people with cats who are really people oriented and they love the company of people,
Right.
contrary to what their
Yeah.
reputation is.
Not known for that usually, but it
Yeah,
is
I
true.
have a
Yeah, some of
cat
them
who
are
is a
very social.
he's very people oriented, my cat Oreo.
Mm.
He loves new people.
Mm.
But yeah, they're cats. There are boarding facilities for cats, but not all cats are okay with that. I don't think that Oreo is definitely I need to be at home kind of cat.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I
He
think
doesn't.
that's probably at the end of the day, if you can have someone come into your home so that their nervous system isn't disrupted any more than it needs to be.
Yeah.
This
The
makes a
other
lot more
one
sense.
is ill, like any animals that are
Oh,
ill, like they
and
have
need
either a
medications.
chronic illness or some kind of injury or something. So they're definitely more comfortable at home. And then
Yeah,
senior animals too, like they don't do
yeah,
well
yeah,
in boarding facilities or daycares. So the senior
yeah,
animals,
yeah. So that's
I've
good to
taken care of a
know
lot
that
of.
for those people who can't board their animal because of behavioral issues that are no fault to the dog, but just whatever's happened in their life has happened, you're willing to take that on and you have the experience to be able to deal with and keep them safe and as happy as possible.
Yeah.
That's
And
really cool.
it also, so the other thing is I clean up a lot of messes. I find that a lot of people are embarrassed to reach out because they're embarrassed to acknowledge the things that their animals do at home, their pets do at home.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, but once because they don't think someone, like I can barely deal with this. Why
Yeah,
would I
right?
ask
Yeah,
someone else
yeah.
to deal with this?
Yeah.
This, hey, this is what I get paid to do. You're not getting paid, so it's different, right?
Yeah.
But especially with the senior animals, there is a lot of care and attention that
Yeah.
they will make
Yeah.
messes
Yeah.
and like not intentionally. And so I have a lot of patience with that.
Yeah. And I would assume too that being thrust into a situation that they don't really understand where did mom and dad go and having somebody they don't know come, they probably would tend to be having an accident more easily. So this goes into our next question, which is what makes you different from other people in your field? So being willing to take on those animals that do require extra work and being like not only just okay with it, but you're really okay with it. I think that is a huge thing. And I know that you have such a care about animals and how they're treated. And so maybe you could give us a story of an animal and just like how, like what happened with them and how they came to love you or vice versa.
Starting tomorrow. There are three dogs that one was a therapy dog. Her name is Maggie. She's 18-year-old Australian Shepherd.
Wow.
So she has
Oh,
no problems with life at all.
yeah.
She's she sleeps a lot and loves to lay outside and just watch the people go by. Her little brothers, however, she's the matriarch. She has two younger, I call them siblings, brothers, but they're not actually. One is Joe, probably about 5 now, border collie, very
Yeah.
nervous dog. He can be disruptive, like barking and attacking sliding doors and
Oh,
things like
yeah.
that. And then there's Hank. He's got to be 3 now. Lab Newfoundlander cross.
Oh,
Very
wow.
large. And he also has barking. So Joe and Hank get into like skirmishes a lot. Hank barks at everyone, and they live on a fairly busy street, lots of traffic in front, so they can see what's going on. So I have to really manage their outside time. There's also neighbors all around with dogs. If Hank sees a squirrel playing in the backyard, he'll bark at it. So I've been looking after them for a couple of years now, off and on, 2 or 3 times a year. This time it's 10 days, sometimes it's a weekend. And so they know me. They're
Mm.
happy when I come. The first time wasn't so easy. Joe was showing a lot of anxiety, like he was getting up in the middle of the night and barking at the doors, and
Mm.
he did relieve himself inside the house a few times too. I woke
Mhm.
up to that. And how I managed that was really just inviting him in to the bed with me and inviting him up to cuddle with me to show him that I'm here, and
Yeah.
your mama's gone, but there's another one who can like fill her place just for a little while.
You're his support
And
person for the time being.
yeah, I actually, yeah, I'm emotional support human for animals. And it didn't happen right away, but now he does welcome me. Now he trusts me. He comes up on the bed once in a while and sits there for a few minutes. And Marika, who's the pet mom, she says that he just adores me. Like she sees how he is with me in like my videos that I send to them and everything. And
Yeah.
she says the way he looks at me is like incredible, because he's looking at me when I'm taking the video. And I do that with gentleness. And this week I'm going to be adding some TTouch elements because we have talked about doing the coaching. We haven't been able to coordinate times yet, but she's
Mhm.
very interested in that for Hank and for Joe. So while I'm there, I have done touches with them, and that does help as well.
Okay.
I'm going to be more intentional this time and try things out and make notes for her so that I know what we can do when she comes back, if we can ever
That's
coordinate
great.
time.
That's a great segue that now you can tell us what T-Touch is and how you use that.
Oh yeah, it's Tellington TTouch method. It's not just about touches. There's 30 touches. There's also, it incorporates body wraps and movement. We call it a confidence course. There's also other equipment with harnesses and leashes. So I like to talk about it as being a way of communicating directly to the nervous system. So we're bypassing all the other things that get in the way without having to change their environment a whole heck of a lot. And we don't really have to know a lot about behavior or even their history or anything like that. It's about just communicating directly to the nervous system and finding a way to get to their parasympathetic aspect of their nervous system, to bring
Right.
them into calm, to show them that they can do it.
Yeah.
That everything is okay right here and right now. We
Yeah.
don't need to worry.
They can get
So,
out of the fight and flight sort of mode and realize that they're not actually in danger
yeah,
or
and
that something's
just,
attacking.
yeah, to get them into the habit of responding in a way to situations that are not a threat, to respond from their parasympathetic nervous system so that when there is something that is actually threatening, they can respond in that same way, or at least just not as heightened as they do when they're constantly in nervous reactive mode.
Yeah, that's cool. That's very cool.
So, yeah, it's a really great system of tools and methods. The thing that I love the most is I don't, who understands behavior really? I
Yeah.
don't know. I've been studying it for a pretty long time since I started on this dog journey, 2018, and not as long as a lot of people, but that I find that noticing, paying attention is a lot more valuable, paying attention to things that are
Hmm.
going on with them at that time, and then finding ways to help them cope that that
Yeah.
works better
Yeah.
than what is happening, because barking and jumping and lunging and all those things that we don't really like, that don't really work in social situations for us as
Mm.
humans, isn't it's not working. It's not actually working. Their anxiety isn't being relieved. Their nervousness is still there.
Mhm.
So how do we, this gives us ways to, yeah, help them cope and help them see, hey, everything is okay right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Could you share, are there any like key strategies that you use that you have for building your business, getting clients, something that you could share? Or it doesn't even have to be specifically to pet care. It could just be even a general business strategy that you have used that you feel is really important.
The number one thing actually in this, specifically to Abbotsford, Mission, Chilliwack area, has been word of mouth. Um,
Mm.
that worked in South Delta too, as well. Like the happiness of one or two clients and then sharing that with their friends and family and anyone. Rover.com was really awesome because I didn't have to reach out. They had a really awesome search engine optimization so that when people were searching for pet care in their neighborhood, a list of people popped up, and
Yeah.
I just made sure I was at the top of that list with my 135-star reviews. But those testimonials are really valuable. People,
Very
yeah,
valuable. Yeah.
they help a lot. So that's part of word of mouth. And also joining the networking, the business networking. I've been doing that since when I was in South Delta. I did it too. And I don't find that I don't necessarily get direct business from
Hmm.
that, but they're doing their thing and they're like, oh, I know a lady who does. I don't always hear about it directly, but I know that's part of it. Yeah, I only hear about one or two that are like, oh yeah, I heard about you from Guelda or
Yeah.
Natalie or somebody.
Yeah.
The other thing is the, like, when people do reach out and ask if I can look after their pets, I always do an in-person meet and greet with them and their pets, because I want to see, first of all, I'm going to be staying in their home, so I want to see, is their home like a livable like place
Yeah.
to stay for a few days?
Yeah.
But also, like, how is the animal with me? Because not every animal likes every person, just like every person doesn't like every animal or person. I want to see how they are with me. and being there and yeah, just get a sense of the person, but also for them to see, hey, I'm a real
Yeah.
person who's
Yeah.
like non-threatening and really cares about what I do. Another very important thing is to get payment upfront.
Oh, yeah. That's a huge strategy thing for so many businesses.
A lot of pet care businesses ask for 50% upfront and then
Mm.
50% after or just before. But I
Yeah.
100% at
Yeah.
the time, that ensures commitment on both sides. I
Yeah.
get very few cancellations because of that.
Yeah. Which is great because
Yeah.
even if they cancel last minute, you're out because you can't book something else. So it's
Yeah.
very good
But
to,
I give people leeway. I have discretion over that,
yeah. Yeah.
especially if there's a family emergency and they have to cancel. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, do you have any advice that you would give to if there's a woman that's watching right now? Do you have advice for her on how she would start doing what you were doing? Because what are the steps that she needs to take to start a business like yours?
I would say that joining professional associations, there's Pet Sitters International that is based in the US, and now there's a Canadian
Associations.
Pet Professional Association that's pretty new.
Mm.
They just started in October, I believe, opened up. So that those for the pet sitting, and also in the beginning, because I was looking at training, I joined the Association of Professional Dog Trainers. And I did a course. It was at Langara College in Vancouver, but there are a few online that are available. This was a while ago, so I don't know what's currently available, and I don't think that course in Langara is available anymore. But it was a professional dog walking certificate. So
Oh.
it taught me that basically all the things that could go wrong and how to protect
Mhm.
yourself and the and other people and animals from not just liability issues, but injury and
Yeah.
potentially like catastrophic events.
Yeah.
That's really helpful. It's like a babysitter course, but I did learn a lot about dog behavior. That was like my first dip into the dog behavior pool. As far as general, what I would share with women in general in business is that I just want to acknowledge that I appreciate our effort because it's not easy to be a woman in business, especially self-employed. That's why this networking groups are so important too, is to just be around people who are supportive, who really understand like
Mhm.
the challenges that come up because we have so many responsibilities
Yeah.
to others. Even if we don't have children, we have our responsibilities, parents and other things, because that's what we like to do. We like to take responsibility.
Yeah. We like to take care of things and make sure things are done.
Yeah,
So we take it on
yeah,
ourselves.
yeah. So I just like to quietly celebrate and hold space for all of our efforts.
And that's
And I
awesome.
think that's something that we can all do for each other. I think that's what we do, definitely within the BC Women's Business Network.
Yes. And so, segueing into that, because you're in my networking group and you've been with us for a long time now. So, what you've talked about it a bit, but maybe can you give us an example of what does being in a network group with women who are like-minded, that they're there, they're willing and ready to support and encourage you, to lift you up when things aren't going right, to refer you when they because they've come to know you and now they know they can trust you, they're going to refer you because I think as women, like you say, we're those nurturers, right? So when we talking about our pets, we're like, oh no, not just anyone is going to look after my animals, and not just
Mhm.
anyone's going to be in my house even.
It's been 3 years. I didn't know anybody except for the person that I moved here to be with. So it was, and I knew that I wanted to restart. The thing that I liked, especially in the beginning with our network, is that it wasn't just about business. It was about like whatever you're doing as a woman, let's just share it and
Yeah,
support each other. It's that, what I said, like that, just holding space for each other and listening and hearing. There's validation. Validation is very important in continuing forward and finding that the strength to get up every day and keep doing the same thing, even if it doesn't seem to be working right now. Following your heart. And so the validation that I get from an interest in curiosity, you're asking questions that I wouldn't think to ask myself because I'm so immersed in what I'm doing. But also sitting here and coming up and brainstorming ideas on my own doesn't really work. It works to a point, but I have to test it out. Part of that know and trust is also testing out my marketing ideas or my servicing ideas with people that are also in business who understand, but and who also have pets and families,
yeah,
a lot of things going on. That's priceless. I've had business advisors before. I've paid money and I've had business coaching and things. And that was helpful to a point, but it didn't feel as natural as just being able to meet and have dinner once a month or twice a month with a group of ladies who aren't personally invested in my success because I paid them, kind of
right.
thing. They're actually genuinely interested and supportive because I'm a member of the community who's offering a service just like them. Yeah.
I find that too with the community and the fact that they'll always support you to make sure you're charging enough. Make sure that you are looking after yourself as well. When we're building businesses,
Mm.
sometimes we tend
Mm.
to think we got to give away everything first and do it for not very much money because we want to get our name out there. We feel bad charging for our time, but it's so important for us to be able to make that a priority and to have the other women in the room saying, you are worth it. You need to charge what you're worth, and knowing that your value and your worth is a lot more often than what we think in our heads it is. And it's great to have
Hmm.
that sort of that collaboration of and the voices that chime in and just say, make sure that you are looking after yourself as well.
I like the brainstorming too. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, the brainstorming, it's like a little mini mastermind, isn't it? You come
Yeah.
in and you have a question and you can sit there for ages because everybody's, what about this and what about this and blah, 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 blah. And at the end of the day, you can come in and thinking, oh, I don't even know what to do next. I have this problem. It's so heavy. I feel maybe I should just quit. And then you come to the meeting and you lay your issue on the table, and everybody jumps on there and goes, you can do this and you can do this. And oh my gosh, don't quit. No, and they're all like, just if you could in your mind just imagine, like they're all just lifting you up and saying, you are awesome. You can do this. Do not quit. Here, do this, try this. And it doesn't matter. If it doesn't work, so what? Try another one. And and I think that's when you come to a meeting sometimes and you're feeling like, ugh, and then you leave from that meeting and you go home and you're like pumped, but not just pumped because it was motivational, but pumped because you were actually handed strategies and tools on how to get past the block you had. That is, it's so inspiring, right? Sarah, thank you so much for joining me today. That was so fun. I love always
Sure.
hearing your pet stories at the meetings and stuff, and it's always awesome. I want to thank you again. Is there anything you wanted to say?
Just say that I really appreciate the opportunity to do this. This is my first podcast interview, and you were nice and gentle with me, so I appreciate that. It's not as bad as I thought it would be.
No, it's
And
not. It's not.
and also if there's someone out there, a pet parent who is like not sure if they what they can do, they need to get away. There's too much going on in their lives and they just need to get away for a few days to relax and enjoy a break. There's someone here
Yay!
who can take the load off for a few
Yeah.
days. Yeah.
I'll put on all your contact info in the show notes as well, so they will know how to get a hold of you. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay. Thanks
Great.
again. And thank you for everyone who is watching. Please listening to women who are kicking butt in their businesses and growing. If that resonates with you, please subscribe. And we will see you all next time. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. And check the notes for information about our guest. I invite you to join us at the BC Women's Business Network to meet many more amazing women. Hit the subscribe button and join us again next time on Elevating Women in Business.